to honor America, will you please rise for our national anthem to be performed tonight by Debbie Gibson.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
So the Dodgers brought in Debbie Gibson. Now if only they had Kirk Gibson. The first pitch is moments away.
You talk about a roll of the dice. Look who's coming up.
It's a beautiful day for a ball game.
Dodger Stadium, one of baseball's most impressive structures, with its many-tiered, multicolored stands.
My mom and dad used to take us to the drive-in movies in Reseda, California. In between the double features, they'd have highlights of the World Series, and the Dodgers were always playing in the World Series.
Dodgers? In my opinion, public enemy number one.
I grew up in West Sacramento on a farm with horses, pigs, chickens, cows, the whole thing. I thought the Dodgers were silver spooners, and they were lucky all the time. They got every damn break in the book.
Here's Davey Lopes, game on the line. Ground ball on Smith. Caboa, a throw. Yes, no, not in time.
They carry themselves in a different way. It's a confident thing, you know? And that's not such a bad thing, but if you hate the Dodgers, it bothers you. You know, it's just the way it is.
The Dodgers own the town.
Good eat.
That's Hungry Man, dinners and entrees.
In the late 80s, Lasorda was a big star.
Hey, Tommy Lasorda. How do you spell relief?
I spell relief R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
The Dodgers looked like L.A. They felt like L.A.
Sometimes almost like you're one of the Beatles.
In a period of time, there was the aging process, there were players leaving, and there weren't enough good players coming up.
The biggest thing happened to Los Angeles was '85.
And he hits one to deep left field, and that one is gone.
And that's when Jack Clark hit the home run against Tom Niedenfuhr, and the Dodgers lost the pennant.
Boy, when you're going good, things go your way, and when you're going bad, you can't even feel a ground ball.
Just some really bad years and some really bad teams, you know. We busted our rear end, but we didn't get any results.
That's trouble. That's going to be a double play. That's a double play. Sure, they're going to tag him out. Definitely no. Oh, boy, that is terrible.
In 1987, the anniversary of Jackie Robinson's entry into Major League Baseball, Al Campanis being interviewed on Nightline, and a very sad turn of events.
I mean, there are a lot of black players who would dearly love to be in managerial positions.
I truly believe that they may not have some of the necessities to be let's say a field manager or perhaps a general manager.
I got to tell you, that sounds like the same kind of garbage we were hearing 40 years ago about players.
Peter O'Malley asked for Al's resignation. He called me from Houston, and he said basically, Fred, you have to take this job. In '86 and then in '87, we were 16 games under 500 in both those seasons. We clearly needed to make changes.
The A's didn't really make a dent until '72 when they got to their first World Series.
There's a long blast to deep left. That one is going, and it is gone. A home run for Gene Kennedy.
They were the hot item probably through the first half of the '70s.
The Oakland A's are the world champions of baseball.
And then they face planted, and that was that.
I signed when I was 17 years old with the Kansas City A's. In 1968, when the A's went to Oakland, I was on that club as a utility man.
the renaissance of the A's in the 80s. We started with the hiring of Tony La Russa in '86.
I had no crystal ball. I didn't know we were going to have the success there, but I knew they had a lot of veteran talent and they had some real good-looking young guys.
People don't know this, but I was drafted as a third baseman. I struggled in the Florida State League, then I went to Idaho Falls. I struggled there. And by mid-season, my mom passed away. And I promised her on her deathbed that I was going to become the best player in the world for her. And literally a week later, I encountered PEDs. Of course, the rest is history.
I mean, he was strong, but he could run. He had a very high baseball IQ.
Jose Canseco was already a cartoon character. He became a steroids guy. And he could hit the ball a very long way.
87 comes around and we're building a team. Of course, now Mark McGwire comes in. Well, McGwire and I were comparing forms. This man has the biggest forms I have ever seen in my life, so we're kind of like lifting him up, kind of like, you know, like guys do, just hit him against each other. He goes, wow, that's interesting. Maybe we should do that. If one of us hits a home run, let's just do that and see what happens. Boom, it took off. It became a very catchy thing that the Oakland A's did. And it was dubbed the Abash Brothers, and it took off everywhere.
Chicago it brought me to my knees, you know, playing for the Cubs. And I got sober in the winter of '86. And nobody really knew that. '87, I came to Oakland, and it was like a blessing. I didn't know at the time, but it just seemed like it because I was going back home. To be honest with you, I didn't know who I was. I was in transition from who I was, and I was this brand new dude. It was really kind of frightening. I knew that I had something.
Again, Eckersley ready. Lynn runs the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Comes back, reinvented as a closer, and as the greatest closer ever.
He had an arrogance on the mound that he was unhittable. He had an arrogance about throwing strikes, and he never looked like there was a hair out of place.
Eckersley was the guy who was invulnerable. He was the thing that basically took the A's from, boy, they're really large, to, I don't think we'll ever be.
And Oakland wins it. Dennis Eckersley with his 44th save of the year.
Well, the Dodgers have announced tonight that we have signed Kirk Gibson to a 3-year contract.
He said, Fred, I may have to cause some disruption here. And I said to him, Kirk, why do you think you're here? Yeah.
I'm thinking, man, moving to LA, I got kids and starting my family. Don't be afraid of it. It's a different culture, you know, different league. Go for it.
If you knew Kirk during his playing days, he was a mean SOB.
I went to college on a football scholarship, and I saw myself as a football player. It came off that I was a hard ass and that I was not socially approachable. Like, people said, come on, smile, laugh. I'm like, hey.
It was a clubhouse that was all warm and fuzzy and everyone hugging all the time. Gibson didn't hug.
1-2 pitch. Right on through the catcher into the screen. Gibson comes to third. He's going to try to score. He scores, and the ball game is over. Kirk Gibson on a wild pitch scores from second base.
Winning is fun.
The Dodgers win 4-3.
This other sucks.
The cheer was, what a team. That's what Tommy started.
What a team. I hope you bleep that out, because I have relatives.
And the next thing you know, Kirk Gibson, who was all serious about everything, he started, what a team. And then everybody started saying, what a you got 15 guys in there screaming, what a Heath.
One thing is for certain, a week from Saturday, the World Series will begin either here or at Shea Stadium in New York. Line to center field, and with the outfield deep, Shelby can't make the catch as Strawberry comes in to score.
They were great. They had a lot more talent than we did.
And McReynolds is being waved in, and the throw to Scioscia. Scioscia blocks the plate, but without the ball, and McReynolds is saved.
But that didn't matter. The team that plays the best wins. It's not the team with the most talent, it's the best team.
Gibson hits a high drive, a towering drive to deep right center field, and that one is gone. Kirk, I'll let you have the last word. If you're ready, sum it all up.
I guess I did have the last word.
And the 2-1 pitch coming to Gibson is hit to deep right field, and that one is gone.
I tell you, you better watch shaking hands with Gibson right now. You get injured.
Slices one to left. Gibson coming to the line, dives, and makes a catch as he was falling down in left field.
Gibby made an amazing diving catch for me, and I think that was the beginning of his legs starting to fail and get hurt.
He's going, and the pitch skitters away from Carter, so Gibson in at second, and he comes up hobbling.
As soon as I put my leg out the slide, I felt it pop.
We're going to keep in mind the left leg is the one that hurts.
Just snapped my semimembranosus hamstring tendon in my left leg.
It's like Kirk Gibson, when he goes home in the wintertime, he takes a sack containing all of the parts of his body and kind of puts it back together again. He's got till February to do it.
Yep.
I wanted to play the Dodgers because it was just convenience. That's the truth. I don't want to go to New York, you know? And I think the Dodgers weren't as good. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They had no business beating the Mets.
Dodger Stadium filling up before Game 1 of the 1988 World Series. First item of business, Kirk Gibson will not play for the Dodgers. Bothered by the right knee and the left hamstring, the knee more so. But in any case, he won't even be introduced tonight. We assume that means he's not available for so much as pinch hitting duty.
The A's were bigger than life. And I didn't think it mattered who came out of the NL. We already know who's winning. Let's get on to the end so we can all go home.
The pundits had picked us fourth in our division, and yet here we are. Now we're going against a real dominant type of a team, the Oakland A's.
I thought that if we kept to our business and did things as usual, I didn't think anyone could beat us.
Well, I was hurt. I'd been getting injections in my legs, and the plan was hatched that I wouldn't play.
On the mound, a rookie to start Game 1 of the World Series, Tim Belcher.
We had seats all the way up by the right field foul pole in the upper deck.
And he looks at a fastball for a strike. 3-2. Got him looking.
I was just excited to be in the ballpark and be at a World Series game. I was definitely pulling for the A's, but I wasn't obnoxious.
And it's a high fly ball to left center. It's playable. Shelby is there. And at the end of half an inning, A's nothing. Dodgers coming out.
We knew we were the team people wanted to watch. We felt that whoever we played, it's just a matter of time before your ass was kicked. And that's how we played the game.
And now their 21-game winner, Dave Stewart. He'll pitch to Steve Sachs, Franklin Stubbs, and then Mickey Hatcher, a Dodger lineup without Kirk Gibson.
Saxey was the first hitter. I told him I was going to hit him. And I did. That happened because in workout, he was leaving the field. He walked past me. He told me he was going to take me deep. You don't tell me you're going to take me deep. You don't tell me that.
Not true. I've never said that to an opposing player, ever. I would never disrespect an opposing player, and especially a guy like Dave Stewart.
I told him I was going to hit him in his neck, and I was close. I didn't get him, but I was close.
Had it not been for my cat-like reflexes, I might have been hit in the head. And I just got up and sprinted to first thinking, man, thanks for hitting me.
Mickey Hatcher, a contact hitter, and the Dodgers could put a play on here. Fastball hit into left field and deep. Back goes Parker, way back. It is gone.
Mickey went around the bases faster than anybody I've ever seen run a home run. He just went around the bases in the blink of an eye. He's never run faster in his life.
That's kind of the way the year went. Here we are in World Series, Mickey Hatcher hits a 2-run homer. It's crazy.
Baseball brought our family together. Game 1 of the World Series, I was 12 years old. They're playing the Oakland A's, who had won something like 104 games. And it was sort of a dream come true for a 6th grader.
3-2 to Dave, and he walked him.
From the very beginning, he learned math by looking at the standings. But he was no more of a geek than I am.
Second inning, 2-0 Dodgers, and he's walked him to load the bases again. And now the big man. All eyes on Jose Canseco.
Jose was in himself a show, if you know what I mean.
Oh, God. Canseco was ridiculous. I mean, he was, oh my God, he was a monster.
The media asked me, Jose, what do you want to accomplish this year? And I said, well, I want to do the 40-40.
Canseco running. McGuire takes the throw to second. Canseco's in.
No one had ever conceived it. He could hit 40 home runs and steal 40 bases.
Quality bat is what I use.
Oh, you just get paid to say that.
Great wood, and plus I'm getting paid to say this, like Mark said.
I really didn't think it was that much of a big deal. I thought it had been done before. And the media kind of balked and kind of looked at me and kind of laughed at me. But no, seriously, what do you want to do? I said, listen, I'm dead serious.
He's leaning a little bit right now. He's running. There's the throw. Number 40. Jose Canseco, the first man ever in big league history. And now he's asking the umpire if he can take that second base bag. Now he's going to get it. He stole it. It's his.
With 2 down, the biggest confrontation of the night. The base is loaded, and Jose Canseco. 1 ball and no strikes.
We talked about the Canseco and the steroid story with Thomas Boswell at the Washington Post wrote.
What about steroids in the major leagues?
I have heard very well-known ball players in baseball say, casually, talking about steroids, they call them a Jose Canseco milkshake.
Because I'm in the World Series and I've hit a few home runs, why is it relevant now?
It is absolutely a given in baseball clubhouses that he is the most conspicuous example of a player who made himself great with steroids.
I asked Canseco yesterday, and here's what he had to say about it, Ben.
I know it's more or less just like a practical joke. A lot of comments Boswell made didn't make any sense. A lot of the comments were untrue and false.
It's not a convincing lie from a not convincing liar.
I'm sure he was denying it to try to keep his career alive. It was illegal. He was breaking the law.
Hubbard at third, Stewart at second, Lansford at first. This is a ball club. The Oakland A's scored over 800 runs this year.
I knew 100% times infinity he would not throw me a fastball for a strike, so I sat on a slider. And boy, I'm sitting there, and here comes a slider.
And there's a drive to center. Back goes Shelby to the wall. It is gone. Grand slam home run for Jose Canseco.
He hit that thing, and I'm watching it go, and I'm thinking, that damn ball just not only cleared center field, it looked like he was playing in a Little League park.
When you hear the crack of the bat, it's a matter of whether it's going to kill somebody or not.
All I did was snap my wrist to the actual zone. I actually hit it really low, but I hit it so hard that it actually took off upward. You know, it was probably one of the hardest line drives I'd ever hit and went out instantly.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is crazy power. And if this is indicative of what we're going to have to face, man, this is going to be a long road.
We talked about it. They have about 5 guys on that lineup with 1 swing. swing can turn the game around, and you just saw it here.
When Jose hit the grand slam, well, my memory was, man, you know, this is our year.
Jose Canseco makes Tommy Lasorda sit quietly, and that's quite a trick. It took a grand slam home run to do it, and did he ever smoke it?
I cannot overstate the fact that we thought they were done. Everyone thought they were done.
Little TV there in the training room. My wife was with my son, Kirk Robert, who was 2, and Kirk Robert was acting up a little bit. So I told my wife in the 3rd inning, just go home. And she did.
1-2. Check swing on a roller to Griffin. Alfredo the short way to Sachs, but the damage is done, and the Savage is named Canseco. 4-2, Oakland.
In LA, you sit in so much traffic all the time. The thought of leaving a game, sitting in traffic, anything you can do to avoid traffic is very important.
It's like anybody who lives in the Hamptons. They spend their entire weekend trying to figure out when are they driving to New York. So you know Dodger Stadium is that it's hard to get in and out, and a lot of the conversation is about Vin Scully, Dodger dogs, and when are we going to leave?
Kirk Gibson frustrating and edgy in the far corner of the Dodger dugout as Steve Sachs takes ball 1. If you missed it, he'll be re-examined tomorrow, and his condition is day to day. Problem with the World Series, ain't many days.
That's right.
Tim Leary is the new Dodger pitcher. He won 3 games last year, was very disgusted, and went to the Mexican League and pitched over 100 innings to learn the split finger.
I used to call him Norman Bates.
I was turning 29, married, with a kid on the way. It was kind of fighting for my career nonstop.
And he was commuting to Mexico. I mean, he was putting his uniform on in Santa Monica and driving down there and then pitching and driving back. Now here he is in the World Series. I mean, that alone would wear you out.
I'd drive 163 miles, stop halfway for a hamburger, bring Folgers coffee and a roll of toilet paper because they had no toilet paper in the clubhouse. Not glamorous at all.
3-2.
Nobody thought Tim Leary was anything. He thought he had failed. He was fine to stay in the big leagues.
And he's gone. Fastball chopped to the left of Griffin. Alfredo on the bag to end the inning.
It was just a magical situation. Everyone just gave it more than their all.
Big chopper to the hole, flagged by Griffin, who wisely goes to Sachs, who will run down Henderson. Oh, what a heads-up play.
It didn't matter the situation. He loved it.
For the first time tonight, the A's are gone in order. It's still 4-2 Oakland.
We had a mantra that we tried to score early and we were going to add on. We never added another run for the next 6 or 7 innings. You worry because you're taught to worry.
And there's a ground ball up the middle. Base hit. Marshall to second. He will hold there. And the Dodgers now with runners at first and second and 1 out. And Mike Scioscia, the batter.
It was a tough game 1, but we didn't stop fighting.
And he bangs it into left. Base hit. Here comes Marshall to score. Stopping at second is Shelby.
When we were in that similar situation, the 1-run game, normally I'd earn the right to finish him.
Shelby and cut down his lead at second. On the hands, crack back to third. Lansford on the bag for 1, double play.
Tony had a system that he called earn your outs. So if I got the first out, then I get another one.
And there's a high fly ball into right field. Canseco going back under it and makes the play for the out. If you were in the ballpark with binoculars, your first thought would be, is Gibson in the Dodger dugout? And the answer would appear to be no.
I was thinking, what can I do to kind of capture this moment?
And I said to Harry Coyle, great director, Harry, do me a favor, follow me.
As you look, you see Fernando Valenzuela, and you're looking for Kirk Gibson. And there is no Gibson.
And when it comes to the end of the dugout and the runway, I said,
the man who saved them in the League Championship Series will not see any action tonight for sure.
You know, I'm down there, and then Scully keeps talking about how I'm not going to be playing tonight. There will be no Kirk Gibson tonight. And I got out of that chair. I said, my ass.
Get a jump at all, and he still made the play.
When I was very young, I used to crawl under a big four-legged radio and listen to football games. The loudspeaker was directly over my head, and the roar of a crowd would come out of there like water out of a shower head. I would get goosebumps at 8, 9, oh my gosh. And that got me thinking, boy, I love the crowd. Gee, I wish I was there to see it. So if there's one thing I always did, someone would do something important.
1 ball and no strikes, Aaron waiting.
I would describe it as quickly and as accurately as I could, and then shut up.
The outfield deep and straight away. Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone.
We go to the bottom of the 9th inning here at Dodger Stadium in Game 1. And on the mound, the MVP in the League Championship Series, Dennis Eckersley. 45 saves. That really jumps out at you.
This is the World Series. It's a big deal. I was feeling the whole thing, and I was trying to project confidence.
And Mike Scioscia will start it off. Ball 1.
This is a lot of energy here. There's a lot of energy here.
Popped up around the bag at second. It'll be Walt Weiss. 1 down. A reminder, coming up next, except on the West Coast, local news and Saturday Night Live.
You know, I'm down there, and, you know, I mean, it's the 9th inning. You're down by a run. I told Mitch Poole, go set the tee up.
I was just picking up dirty towels. That's all I was doing. It could have been some other guy that was back there, but it was me.
I started hitting off the tee, and after probably about 10 balls off the tee, I said, go tell Tommy.
I'm yelling at Tommy at the top of my lungs, and he's just ignoring me pretty much.
And young Jeff Hamilton coming up.
Tommy's like, Mitch, leave me alone. I can hear him, man. You can just hear Tommy, you know.
I go, hey, Gibby's up there. He said that he could hit. You might want to go talk to him. His whole demeanor changed, and he went up there really quickly. So I'm placing balls on a tee, and Kirk goes, you know, Mitch, this could be the script.
Eckersley sidearms you, and he will come inside, but he really likes that strike on the outside corner. And there's Gibson.
Well, we'll see what all that means. I doubt if he'd be up there to hit for Davis. I think that it'll be up to Davis to extend the inning to allow Gibson one last shot. 0-2. Mean strike 3 call.
2 outs, nobody on. You're an out away.
My parents turned to me, and at that point it was, all right, we're making a beeline for the car, and we're going to get to the car before this game ends.
We're going to save literally an hour and a half if we leave before the last pitch.
I walk in there, I sit down. I mean, I'm just in the zone.
2 out, 9th inning. Oakland 4, Dodgers 3, and here is Mike Davis.
I sucked as a Dodger. Let's keep it real. You know, I was really bad.
When Davis played at Oakland, he hit 22 home runs, 19 home runs, 24 home runs, but only 2 in the National League. Wouldn't chase it, 1-1. But that's off the plate. Fastball, ball 2. He's thrown that ball out there 3 consecutive times, and each time Davis refused to nibble. So the Dodgers are down to their last out. A's 4, Dodgers 3.
If he gets on, we're going to hear some roar.
We're thinking, oh my God, could Mike Davis walk? Could he walk? It's impossible to walk Mike Davis. Just let him hit it. He'll get himself out. Just lob it up there. Put it on a tee for him.
3-1.
Unusual. He never walks anybody. Never walks anybody.
And he walked it. And look who's coming up.
I was so competitive, all I wanted to do was beat somebody. I thought I could make a difference. I was excited to do it. I mean, I thought when the crowd sees me, I won't hurt.
All I know is loud as hell, and it took a long time. Like, get up here.
All year long, they looked to him to light the fire, and all year long, he answered the demands until he was physically unable to start tonight with 2 bad legs. And with 2 out, you talk about a roll of the dice. This is it.
Love it. Love those situations. Love it.
So the Dodgers trying to catch lightning right now. Fouled away. He was, complaining about the fact that with the left knee bothering him, he can't push off. Well, now he can't push off and he can't land.
He's going to use all arms. Look at his crowd on its feet. What a tribute.
4-3 A's. 2 out, 9th inning. Not a bad opening act. Fouled away again.
And he's standing on an outside corner. He's not going to give him a ball to pull.
First 2 pitches, he looked lame as can be, didn't he? It's like, oh, you poor bastard. Right? You almost felt sorry for him. I'm just waiting to punch him out.
0-2 to Gibson. The infield is back with 2 out and Davis at first. Little nubber, foul.
The little nubber. I mean, think about it. They get to that ball, I'm toast.
Me, Mac, and him were standing there, and I looked down at the ball, and if it was like a little farther over, I would have picked it up and tagged him. Out number 3.
And it had to be an effort to run that far.
He looks horrible.
Gibson was so banged up, he was not introduced. He did not come out onto the field before the game.
You can really see the limp. He's not driving that ball. It was by him. Let's see. He's really he almost has to talk to his legs and say, hey, let's go. We got to get out of here.
It's one thing to favor one leg, but you can't favor 2.
No way. And that's what he's trying to do. He really is.
Ball 1. And a throw down to first. Davis just did get back.
But I know they got to be careful. You can't get thrown out to end the World Series trying to steal.
14 fastballs in a row. That's all he's been throwing.
There goes Davis, and it's fouled away. Gibson shaking his left leg, making it quiver like a horse trying to get rid of a troublesome fly.
That's what I thought of. A horse trying to get a fly off the leg, shaking it off. I'd never used that before and never used it again.
2-2. Tony La Russa is 1 out away from win number 1.
I knew Kirk Gibson from the American League. He was an experienced hitter, and had become one of the best two-strike hitters in the game. He had gotten really wide, would take no steps so he was not off balance, and he would just see the ball, let it travel, and use his hands.
I get my hands in here, and I'm all crouched down, I'm all spread out. I'm just fouling balls off, hoping that he makes a mistake.
There he goes, way outside. He's stolen it. So Mike Davis, the tying run, is at second base with 2 out. Now the Dodgers don't need the muscle of Gibson as much as a base hit.
I call timeout. I remember what Mel Didier said, and it's, you guys got the book? Mel Didier telling me, partner, as sure as I'm standing here breathing, you're going to see a 3-2 backdoor slider. Now he gets the 3-2.
Yes, it's torture.
Be careful with Gibson.
Sachs waiting on deck, but the game right now is at the plate.
I'm thinking what Mel told me.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
When I come around second base, that's when I pull this out. Yeah, that was totally spontaneous. I never thought about doing that.
I'm jumping in and out of the frame like a little kid, like a 6-year-old that just got told there's another Christmas.
We're going like this, and I'm telling people, get out of his way, because if you interfered with the runner before he touched home plate, they could call it off.
That moment was the culmination of many, many failures. And I didn't feel anything but joy. Promise you that.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
I just saw how it came off. Like, oh my God, you know, and snapped my neck. It was slow motion. Absolute shock how far he hit that ball.
As soon as I dropped my bat, I knew it was gone. That one here was just perfect. It's that finish.
Watch Lasorda.
I'm underneath the ballpark, remember, but I can hear the crowd. You knew the pitch was gone.
I ran back 2 or 3 steps, and then I'm watching this thing 40 feet over my head going out, and I'm thinking, this is not happening.
I mean, that's one of the craziest moments of my life. And then it sets in that this is it.
What happened?
They were stunned. Everybody was stunned. And then it was lonely. I was looking for eye contact from somebody on my team. Like, oh, help me. You know what I'm saying?
My biggest regret was not staying in the dugout and waiting for it to come off the mound. To this day, I have regretted not being there when he came off.
Did you know it was gone the instant you hit it? A pretty good idea.
Little did I know it would be one of the most important and impactful plays in the game of baseball there ever was.
We have a big 3-2 pitch coming Eckersley. Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable! A home run for Gibson. And the Dodgers have won the game 5-4. I don't believe what I just saw.
The one thing that I really remember is, the fans in LA are notorious for leaving early. I see in the outfield parking lot behind the pavilion, the red brake lights just people are going, I left too early.
They are going wild at Dodger Stadium. No one wants to leave.
We're in the car driving out, and we are staring at Dodger Stadium from the outside.
Just hearing the radio announce it.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, and a drive hit to right field. Way back! He scores!
It was these sort of confluence of feelings where, you're overjoyed, but you're also, you're so furious at your parents for dragging you out of there.
In retrospect, it was a boneheaded decision.
But we wouldn't be sitting here if we had stayed.
Hershiser struggling in the ninth, and Steinbach waiting for one last shot, and Kirk Gibson knows what you can do with one last shot. Got him. They've done it. Like the 1969 Mets. It's the impossible dream revisited.
Nobody thought we could beat the team who won 104 games. Nobody believes it.
I mean, it's incredible. They said we were the worst team ever to win a World Series. I love it. Your whole life, your whole career, fighting through it, people saying don't give up. I wish I could live that moment every day. I wish you could live that moment every day.
Somber news coming out of Detroit today. Kirk Gibson acknowledging today that he has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
I'm going to deal with this like I've dealt with everything else. I've embraced the fact that I have Parkinson's disease, and I carry Parky around every single day. You can sit in the corner, not an option. When I lose my voice, I know through affirmation how to overcome it. I know I got to do my I know I got to pull it up. You have to accept the challenge. You have to do it with passion. You have to do it with determination. You have to address it every single day. Our mind is so powerful, so why not create a good picture? Whatever goals I have, I'm going to keep going until I can't go, and do it with a smile on my face because it makes me feel so good.